seizing all the opportunities that it presents in agriculture, mining, tourism, and everything God has gifted us under the sun. A prosperous nation is where our dreams are more than just possibilities. They are tomorrow's reality, where every man, woman, and child has access to universal healthcare, with hospitals that have medical supplies, facilities, and medical personnel dedicated to serving their fellow countrymen. To contribute to a healthy and active nation. To wake up every morning proud and free to pursue your dream. A prosperous nation is more than natural resources, a thriving economy, universal healthcare, and vibrant young communities. Prosperity is the people of Zambia.
This message is brought to you by the Socialist Party.
A lovely good afternoon. You are tuned into the finest television to present the lunchtime news at 13 hours. My name is Siwangile Lombanya. We take a look at the stories making headlines. Lawn protester calls for Kanganja's dismissal, while UPND petitions police IG over alleged malpractice and electoral violence. President Lungu is a contestant. He cannot set the rules of the game. TIZ. The Japanese government hands over 4,190 health center kits. In sports news, Muhamba on course as Zesco United renew vows in CAF Champions League. We take a look at the stories in detail. Number 43888 Sergeant Chipepo Musonda on Wednesday morning staged a one-man protest from Lusaka's High Court to the police force headquarters. The former sergeant under Zambia Police carried a poster denouncing the police chief, who he accused of politicizing the police service and carrying out orders from the Patriotic Front to disadvantage other political players. He demanded the dismissal of the police chief, urging citizens to unite and denounce any form of police harassment and brutality. Sergeant Chipepo became a hero in July last year after explaining that he quitted the police service, citing a lack of professionalism and the infusion of PF cadres in the police. Sergeant Chipepo was later picked by officers, and police have not formally announced his arrest. There's more in the following report.
Former police sergeant identified as Jason Chipepo this morning staged a lone protest against Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja, accusing him of professional misconduct. The placard carrying protester denouncing the police chief walked from Lusaka's High Court roundabout to the police headquarters. Mr. Chipepo accused Mr. Kanganja of politicizing the police service and carrying out orders from the Patriotic Front to disadvantage other.
My instruction, I am my instruction. You are failing to tell politicians the truth. That's the reason why they are using you like condoms. Excuse me. Your uniform, you get. Not protecting politicians alone. I'm a politician, I'm a PF, they are Zambian maker. And when we Zambians feel aggrieved like this and want to protest, and you know where the real criminals are. You know where the real criminals are. I wonder why you are not.
He has demanded of the dismissal of the police chief, urging citizens to unite and denounce any form of police harassment.
This will continue as long as you do not do anything, Zambians. This will continue. You have to be willing to pay the price.
Protest was, however, curtailed by a quick action from the police, who bundled him up in a police vehicle and is currently in detention. Sergeant Chipepo became an instant hero in July last year after explaining that he quit the police service, citing a lack of professionalism and an infusion of PF cadres in the police service. Liambela Mutumba, KBN TV, Lusaka.
The opposition United Party for National Development has petitioned Inspector General of Police Kakoma Kanganja over the continued alleged incidences of violence against its members by suspected PF cadres. Presenting the petition that wasn't received at the police headquarters in Lusaka this morning, UPND Chairman for Elections Gary Nkombo cited an incident that happened on Monday this week where suspected PF cadres allegedly attacked and injured some UPND women in Kitwe's riverside areas as one of the cases. Mr. Nkombo says the party has on several occasions tolerated this but will not allow such acts of violence threats against its members ahead of the general elections. He further disclosed that in the petition, the party has cited the 70 voters' cards that were allegedly to be collected by the agent of PF aspiring candidate Dora Silia in Petauke, as well as the Chawama candidate who is suspected to have been sent to buy votes. And Mr. Nkombo dropped similar letters at Ministry of Home Affairs and the Electoral Commission of Zambia headquarters.
With the police, and the subject this morning is to do with the escalating violence by PF cadres on members of other political parties different from.
Because of us, you are not allowing any other people to come.
At least Charity was brave enough to pick the call. Kanganja has never been a policeman. He hasn't been a policeman. He has been, like we heard one former cop say just now, is that probably he's the de facto Secretary General of Patriot. You won't allow us to come inside. What instruction? Should we deliver the letter here? Maybe?
Maybe we are not allowed.
Because if you don't want us to go, we can just deliver the letter. As long as you can stamp it or sign it, then we'll leave you in peace. Are you Zambia police? Because we are Zambians. We have come here to drop a letter. And the ministry has duly stamped it as received. And we are going to now make follow-up by calling the PS to supervise the police to respond to all these concerns that we have. But primary among them is that we believe that the police have failed to police peace, police the community.
The Japanese government has handed over 4,190 health center kits to Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies ZAMSA under the program dubbed Economic and Social Development. The area of cooperation was clinched when the Zambia President Edgar Lungu, attended the Tokyo International Conference on African Development TICAD hosted by Japan in August 2019, at which Zambia was offered 2.7 million United States dollars in aid to foster primary health care. Speaking at the handover ceremony, acting Japanese ambassador to Zambia, Satoshi Omanato, said the grant aid project will in a long run lead to the improvement of basic health care services in Zambia, and that it will also in turn contribute to the expansion of the universal health coverage. He assured Zambia of the Japanese government's commitment to improving the primary health care. And Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary of Technical Services Kennedy Malama, officiating the event, thanked the Japanese government for its continued support towards the health sector amid COVID-19. Dr. Malama said the health center kits will be accounted for and distributed to facilities dotted across the country. He, however, charged that government will not leave any room for privilege of medicines and medical supplies. The PS has since directed responsible officers at both provincial and district level to ensure quick distribution and accountability. He also appealed to citizens to report any suspected criminal activities involving medicines and medical supplies. Transparency International Zambia is worried that President's directive to ban rallies interferes with the work of the ECZ, whose mandate is to set rules. However, the electoral process should be managed. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe says the president is head of state, hence he must not lose sight of the fact that he is also a candidate in the 12th August elections, and it is unacceptable for him to set the rules of contest in which he himself is interested to participate. TIZ Executive Director warns that ECZ already gave guidance on how political parties should campaign and advised that parties should consider not holding rallies. Mr. Nyambe has urged President Lungu to lead by example in contributing to creation of a level playing field, which will ultimately contribute to enhancing the integrity of electoral process in general of the 12th August elections in particular.
Would like to condemn in the strongest possible terms the suggestion by the Zambia National Public Health Institute that the 2021 elections could potentially be postponed. We think that that is a very reckless and irresponsible statement to make. You need to realize that the election date, as well as the holding of elections itself, is enshrined in the Constitution of Zambia as amended in 2016, and so any departure from that would actually be an abrogation of the supreme law of the land. Would therefore like to call upon all well-meaning Zambians, including all political parties, to strongly distance themselves from this notion that the election could be postponed, because we do not want to abrogate the supreme law of the land.
In sports news, it is now over 10 months since Numba Mumamba was appointed Zesco United head coach. Mumamba was tasked to lift an ailing Zesco United side from its doldrums following disappointment of 2020-2019 league season, which saw the former league champions abdicate the league throne they had occupied for their consecutive seasons, finishing outside the top two the first time since 2012 and further missing on the CAF International Club qualification for the first time since 2013. The former Zanaco Football Club coach is this far having a season of his life at Zesco United, guiding the 8 times Super League champions back into the CAF Champions League, with only 4 games to go before the close 2020 to 2021 league campaign. Mumamba also guided Zesco United to the 2020 ABSA Cup final despite losing to Lusaka Dynamos on penalties. The Zesco United gaffer further set to add his name into the annals of the club's history by winning the team's 9th league title. Zesco United only need 2 points from the last 4 games to be crowned 2020 to 2021 Zambian Super League champions. The Ndola-based league giants will next week Wednesday face relegation-threatened Napsa Stars in what the club's faithful will be hoping to seal the title for the league leaders. And that sports item ends the lunchtime news. But before we go, we take a look at the stories that made headlines. Lawn protester calls for Kangaja's dismissal, while UPND petitions police IG over alleged malpractice and electoral violence. President Lungu is a contestant. He cannot set the rules of the game, TIZ. The Japanese government hands over 4,190 health center kits. And in sports news, Mumamba on course as Zesco United renew vows in CAF Champions League. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Finest Television. My name is Siwongile Lombanya. Please do join us for more.
prosperous nation? Is it vast natural resources, the optimism and hard work of its people? Or is it the country's ability to create jobs and opportunities, empower men and women to care for their families? Prosperity is calling your nation home, seizing all the opportunities that it presents in agriculture, mining, tourism, and everything God has gifted us under the sun. A prosperous nation is where our dreams are more than just possibilities. They are tomorrow's reality, where every man, woman, and child has access to universal healthcare, with hospitals that have medical supplies, facilities, and medical personnel dedicated to serving their fellow countrymen, to contribute to a healthy and active nation, to wake up every morning proud and free to pursue your dream. A prosperous nation is more than natural resources, a thriving economy, universal healthcare, and vibrant young communities. Prosperity is the people of Zambia.
This message is brought to you by the Socialist Party.